Hello, hello, people. It's been a while, right? Let me go ahead and turn off my phone over here. All right. How's everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? How is everybody physically feeling? I saw that a lot of people are exhausted. That is quite a very fitting word right now. A very fitting word with everything happening, with everything going on. So if y'all haven't noticed already, I tend to go quiet when there's a lot to process energetically. You'll see me post pictures, but you'll hardly get me interacting, and you'll hardly get me posting opinions or anything like that. I'm not going to make this video into addressing what's going on with current events, rather so than checking up on your frequency. Do we know what frequency means? Do we know what vibration means? What emotion means? You know what it is to have a choice, and then to make a decision, and then to act on those decisions that we make. I've been hearing a lot of opinions, a lot of information, but like I said, I'm going to keep this one energetic today. Over the last few weeks, I know I've definitely felt the effects coming up to these moments that we're living right now. And you'll notice that a lot of empaths or psychics or healers or whatever you want to call yourself, which is, we have definitely taken a step back to go through our process. So my question to you guys is do you guys know how to process emotion? How do you guys process your emotion? What do you guys do to process your emotion? So I know I had a couple of questions where people are asking me, how do you process anger? Anger is something that I'm feeling right now. I'm just angry. I'm mad. Well, I'm always going to ask myself inward, is it even mine? Is this anger that I'm feeling even mine? So let's start with that. I will share what I experienced last Saturday, or this past Saturday. I happened to be riding my bikes down to downtown. Unbeknownst to me, I did not know that the protesters would be downtown. But as we rolled up to the container park, it was a small group. And it was interesting. The news was there. So far, it was peaceful. Nothing major to report there. However, I did get that sinking feeling that, okay, this is small now, wait later. Take off with my friends to go ride bikes, made it to one of the destinations, not our final destination. And we turned back around. As we're turning back around, at the Las Vegas Academy of Arts, all of the cops, all of what seemed like all of Metro was ready for something, ready for whatever. And for any of you who are on my Snapchat, probably saw a few of the videos that I uploaded. But as we came back to roll through the container park, because we were parked near the new parking lot, which they had closed for obvious reasons, we started to roll up, and this small group of people in what seemed like maybe an hour had gathered and extended all the way down Fremont to the end of the container park, down the street on 7th or 3rd, what is it? I don't know what street it is. Anyway, and as I'm rolling in, I start to get everybody's feelings and anxiety and this like a desperation, but the rage. I had never felt energy like that at such an amplified magnitude. Okay. So just to define what frequency is measured in hertz. You'll hear it a lot with music and whatnot. I'm using this new version of Facebook Live, and I can't tell if you guys are commenting, if you guys are, normally I have a few comments show up, so I have no idea if you guys are commenting. Anyway, frequency is the number of time an event occurs per unit of times, and it's measured in hertz. So we'll hear musicians talk about frequency. We hear it a lot in the spiritual community. Okay. And then we have vibration. Vibration's an electromagnetic wave. Oh, there we go. There's some comments. Hello, hello. All right, perfect. All right, awesome. There are some comments. All right. So vibration's an electromagnetic wave. Okay. So a wave, okay, also causes a frequency. And a lot of people like I asked earlier, what's your vibe? It's a vibe check. It's also an emotional state. And as I've mentioned previously in other videos, is your emotions. It's a state of mind, okay, you guys. It comes from the circumstances, the mood, the relationships that you're having with others, okay? Yes, you guys are. You guys are really listening. That's awesome. I think a lot of us are just in that state where we're ready to just hear what needs to be said, because I have seen so many things down my timeline that I had to take a step back, process my information, see what was coming through, and then finally get on. I know a lot of people have been asking me, what are we feeling? What is this? How are you? Some of you notice that I go silent sometimes, and some of you know that I am going through whatever, my own process. Some of you are now discovering that. And it's not a way to hide, but my rising sign is in Cancer, and so is my Venus. So that's just a habit I have, and I shut everybody else out. However, I think it was definitely time to go ahead and address all of the emotions and all of the energy that we're feeling. So emotions, it's a state of mind deriving from circumstances, mood, relationship to others. The feelings, they're then distinguished from reasoning and knowledge. I just Googled it just so I could have something to work with here. Now, I also tell you guys that energy is energy in motion. So energy, we know, never stops moving, okay? So whether you are in a calm state, whether you're agitated, whether you are feeling rage, everyone is empathic by science and by nature. Our skin is the largest organ on our body, and it is connected to our nervous system. It's connected to us. So when we walk into a room and we feel like we can cut the tension with a butter knife, that is you being empathic and you picking up on all that sensory that you have on your skin, okay? So by nature, we're all empathic, but you'll hear a lot in the spiritual community, you know, where other people are more empathic, or I'm an empath, or whatever. It doesn't matter, everybody's empathic. That's why you can tell sometimes when somebody's in a not so good mood or a not so good state of mind, where they may have a smile on their face, but you know deeper that their energy is low or off, okay? So the energy in motion, what are we doing with these emotions? So as I'm going through, the friend I was with decided, he's like, oh, this is cool, let's stay. I think I gave him a death stare. And I was like, you could stay, I will wait for you in the truck. And why? Because all of my bells and whistles, all of my antennas said, that this doesn't feel right to me. Something is uneasy. And I just knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. So I went ahead. And as we decide to move through, the crowd starts moving. And everyone is chanting, everyone is saying things, everyone has their signs. And all I know is that my heart is racing because of the rage that is felt. This wasn't people being upset or just angry. It was rage. So if you've ever met anybody who's enraged, we're all capable of some really serious things. So as I'm crossing through, the looks that I'm getting are Why aren't you on this side? Why are you riding your bike through it? Like, you guys also know that I can pick up on energies and read people's minds. I've done it to some of you guys, but these are the thoughts that are getting thrown at me and my friend, and we're just trying to get through and get to our next destination, which was a truck. We were able to get through, and by the time I get to the truck, I have to take a breather because the energy was so intense. The vibration everybody there was on was of rage. Maybe not everybody was feeling like that, but if you understand how thoughts are projected and accepted by someone else who doesn't know how to protect their energy, it's a domino effect. Okay, so maybe not everybody there was feeling the rage, but that is the energy that was surrounding that particular event that day. Now, we all have choices. The choices I was presented with, because my friend wanted to stay, was, hey, let's stay. And I said, no, let's go. So that was a choice. You're presented with options, colors, flavors, routes to work, your career, flights to take, places to travel, whether you decided to wear a mask or not wear a mask. These are all choices. You have options, okay? Now, your choices aren't necessarily your decisions. Once a decision is taken place, you have now come to a conclusion or a resolution to the question or the subject matter being presented. Hi, Kim. Hi, Stacy. So this is after you've considered your choices or your options, then you make a informed decision or you make a judgment, okay? Whether that is to, wear a mask, not wear a mask, whether you like chocolate or vanilla, whether you like blue or you like red. These are all your choices, but once you've made your decision, you're going to then proceed with an action. However, that's not always the case. It doesn't always follow that order, okay? But your decision, I want you guys to know that your decisions are not your choices. Like, see how it says choose happy? It's a choice. So if you choose, you're now in motion. It's an action, okay? It's a process of doing something, of operating, of moving, or using force, action, okay? You're acting upon. I have seen, I think there was somebody said it really well. Like on my timeline, I saw, if you're staying silent, you're part of the problem. If you're saying something and you have an opinion, but it doesn't resonate with whatever somebody else is thinking, you're part of the problem. There was, what else did I see? There was just a whole bunch of like conflicting information. Now, a lot of us want to learn how to be non-reactive, okay? When something is presented and your bells and whistles go off inside to question something, it's not just about questioning it, it's about going internal. Why does this feel this way? Is it something I've felt before? Where am I going with this? Is it going to matter later? Can I do something immediately about what I'm feeling or the emotion that I'm feeling? Okay. A lot of us aren't trained to, hi Hillary. A lot of us aren't trained to, and we're not taught to question our emotions, question our feelings, question those sensations that we get in our body, question how we can assist or adjust things, okay? One of the biggest things that like I said, somebody asked me, how do you process the anger? How do you process that? Well, you identify the emotion, obviously. If you've identified what the anger or the rage, all right, is there anything in this moment that I can do that's going to bring this rage or this level of emotion from a 1 to a 10? 10, you want to murder someone, 0 being, no, that's not what I'm feeling, okay? When you're on that scale of emotions and you're wondering, well, where am I at on this scale? Am I just so frustrated? Is it really anger or is it frustration? Because those two have a very different frequency, they vibrate at a very different rate, okay? So identify with what it is that you're feeling. Identify when the last time it is that you felt that way. And if you can identify something before the current moment, and then before that current moment, it is an unresolved issue that you've been having that is now presenting itself in a different format for you to resolve. Many of us, many of us have been victims, you can see, right, of racial profiling, of racism. I know I experienced it. One of the very few places. Hi, Jason. I was in Louisiana when I went to visit my sister. And a lot of you may know, my little sister is married to a Black man, so her kids are mixed. And I remember the process that she had to go through with my dad, especially because if y'all don't know my dad, he's very, he talks a lot. And he wasn't always very kind to my brother-in-law. So I've experienced it happen in my own family, okay? So, but we have a choice as to how we're gonna process what we're feeling, okay? Some of these people have decided they're gonna go out and protest. This is my voice. Some of this has given a lot of you guys purpose, where you guys thought your passion was somewhere and then realize your passion is elsewhere. It's an amazing thing that's happening right now. So let those who have that voice and want to be out there, be out there. They're taking a risk, okay? They are taking a risk. They are making their choice to go out there. Now, I don't know anybody personally, like out of my friends on Facebook or friends that I actually know, that would actually be into the looting and the destruction. However, when rage and anger is amplified at the level that I felt it, it is very easy to have that snapping point, to have that switch that just whoop, in a moment's notice. So a lot of you have been triggered. A lot of you have been, and it's not the first time you guys are triggered. Okay, it's not the first time, but it's you guys decide based on your own judgments, morals, and values how you're going to react. Okay. The way I process a lot of my emotions is I cut the world off because I need to know that what I'm feeling belongs to me. It doesn't belong to the neighbor. It doesn't belong to the media. It doesn't belong to what they're having me think happened. I wasn't there. What someone else is saying or how someone else is feeling is going to impact me. So I take a step back and I analyze what I've seen and what feels not right within what I've seen. Now, here's another thing is a lot of you are waking up to a new reality. The majority of you are already there. But a lot of you also don't understand the real evil that there is out there, and that this country has been based and pretty much manipulated by ritual. A lot of you don't know how to identify ritual. If you've ever gone to church, if you've ever gone to a place of worship, you know there is ritual. Okay, you stand up, you sit down, you light a candle, you do the sign of the cross, whatever, you bow down to whatever deity. That's all ritual. You do something on a constant basis to have some kind of an outcome. I've been able to identify a lot of rituals, especially this year and last year when I started decoding. When I tell you guys to decode, it's because this is the year of 2020. It's clear seeing. And everything that they are putting out on the media is for you to decode, is for you to look deeper into, okay? So how I've been managing this frequency or this energy that's being put out there is I step back, I cut everyone off, I go into what I know how to do, and then go into what season are we in? We're in Gemini. Astrology has a lot to do with it, you guys. And that's definitely something that I've gotten into recently also, astrology. And boy, was this last one a massive, the Gemini twins Like and there's certain individuals out there, certain um, celebrities that drop code all the time. You just don't know how to identify it yet. However, I recognize ritual when I see it, and that's probably the bells and whistles that go off inside of me. Now, um, just because you do or you decide to participate or not to participate in something doesn't mean that you're not supporting or you're not part of the movement or that you're the problem. It's because everybody processes things differently. I'm pretty sure that all of our Anglo Caucasians have a lot to say. They want to scream it at the top of their lungs. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. But they know that right now it's best if they just stay quiet. So saying that if you're not speaking out, you're part of the problem is also kind of, in my opinion, a little unfair. We have a lot to say, we may just not know how to put it together. Okay. Now, a lot of you will talk about, well, what the hell happened to the corona? And I thought it was going to be over in April, like you said. Well, I'm not always right on my timelines. That's for damn sure. However, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people dying. But now it's not just because of the corona. We are going through a process or a ritual or whatever you want to call it. We're ascending, okay? This is why it's so hard, especially with all the planets that are in retrograde right now. So I just want you guys to imagine this. Here's the 3D world, and here's the 5D world. Here's a bridge. Not everybody is going to fit on that bridge at the same time. And for those of us who have a really hard time opening up to the spirituality of everything that's going on, because this is spiritual warfare, you guys. I've said this before, where the attack on the corona, the crown, okay, is exactly that. Okay. Now, is there a coincidence that there was a blackout Tuesday and everybody was putting their the black cubes up, and a lot of you participated in a ritual and you guys didn't even realize it? And I understand the movement behind it, but it's question what everyone is doing at the same time before you go in and participate in it. How many of you guys stood up the broom? That was another ritual. How many of you guys did the TikTok, the switch one, where the guys put the girl clothes on and the girls put the guy clothes on? Okay. Some of these rituals aren't necessarily bad. If anything, the broom one and the switch one gave rose us as divine feminines up. Okay, you guys participated by doing that, but a lot of you guys didn't even know that. Okay, now the blackout was on purpose, and these riots are on purpose. What a lot of you don't understand is that when you're feeding your energy to a cause or something, there are people like me who use that energy. Okay, luckily I'm a lot ethical in my ways of using energy, but the people that really know about this, Satanism and all that, they really know what they do with that energy. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Now, I've seen a lot of beautiful things. Don't get me wrong. That is absolutely amazing when a lot of that is happening. And the world is changing because we're on this bridge right now. Why do you think so many of these marches are taking place on highways where there's a bridge? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of you don't know how to identify rituals when they're happening. And again, the voices, a lot of you have found some new passions, and that's amazing, and empowered to that. Okay, we are all not going to fit on this bridge. We're all not going to fit in this new 5D world, this 5D where it's love, it's unconditional. There's no room for judgments, there's no divisions. It's going to happen in a process. And that's why we see a lot of people dying right now, especially the older generations, the older people who have a really hard time accepting what they're seeing happen, whether it's manipulated by the media or not, or the new age stuff, okay? They have this whole, that's how I am and I'm not going to change. That kind of thinking isn't going to fit in the new matrix, you can say, or in the new reality, okay? And that's why a lot of them are leaving, or a lot of them are just so tired of not being heard or feeling like they didn't have a voice, that they can now peacefully leave knowing something's finally being done. This is a major shift, you guys. It's an amazing and beautiful thing. Now, I'm not going to go into the decoding of the names and how they're related and why the divorce is, like, I'm not even going to go into that because it might go over a lot of your heads. But I highly, highly suggest that you guys get into the looking up the spiritual meaning of things. Go to Google, spiritual meaning of George, spiritual meaning of that other guy's name. You guys really want to learn to pay attention and look at things from a non-objective, a very not objective. You guys are just taking a pause without reacting. Take a look at what's happening. Should I be feeling this? Question everything. But yeah, one of the reasons that a lot of our elders are dying is because they're ready to go. They're ready to take off peacefully now while they can before they get pushed off. But a lot of them are getting pushed off. That's why a lot of them contracted the corona. Okay. But there's a difference between respect and tolerance, you guys. Respect comes from admiration. Tolerance is a willingness to endure somebody's existence or opinions regardless of yours, regardless of whether you agree with them or not. And right now, what a lot of us need is tolerance. So, what's going on? Yes, Dianita, yes. So, if you guys decide to go out this weekend, it's a full moon, and there's an eclipse, there's double eclipse, so protect yourselves. How do you protect yourselves if you guys don't know how? You guys just imagine yourselves in a pyramid of gold light. You guys can take your rocks, your crystals, whatever you feel that you need to be protected. If you're going to be out, especially in the protest, you guys really want to make sure that you guys are going in with your own feelings and imagine yourself being shielded by whomever or whatever entity you believe, whether it's God, the angels, saints, deities, whoever. But make sure you guys are getting the exercise. Make sure you guys are getting some sun. Make sure you guys are definitely hydrating. And know that if your sleep patterns are off, it's because we have 4 planets in retrograde right now, which slows everything down. And it also throws off our sleep patterns. I know that we had a lot of solar flares come at us, and those will always affect your sleep patterns too. So, do you guys have any questions? Reading the comments over here. Yeah, be quiet. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Again, you guys learn to decode. Don't fall for everything you guys see. There's a reason why it was so clear. There's a reason why the media is censoring a lot of these protests also. They're dividing everybody. So stay out there and unite. Stay out there and do your part, whatever it might look like. You don't have to be out there in the protest. If that's not what you're feeling, don't do it, because then you're not being authentic to yourself. You're doing it because everybody else is doing it. So stay true to yourselves. Meditate, you guys. Ground yourselves. What grounding is to me, go hug a tree. Thank the tree. Rub your feet on the bare grass or in the rocks. All right. What can we do to protect our energy? Like I said, imagine imagine being in a gold pyramid. of light or shielding yourself, actually having like shields. You know the shields that police are using right now? Imagine those around you, or imagine your body, whatever is going to appeal to you, okay? If imagining yourself full of butter and everything that comes out you just slides off of you, imagine that, okay? It's all about intention. Let's see here. Yes, connecting with nature is also a really great way. Yeah, Vicky. The kids will let you know that they're because they're seeing more of the good things than the other stuff. Okay, um, but is this bringing up a lot of crap for us? Yeah. Is this making us place the blame on certain people that are puppets? Is this and then question, why is it that you feel that way? Who told you to feel that way? Run away from crowds, run first, run. Yeah, I definitely don't do well in crowds right now. Definitely do not do well in crowds. Uh, Especially crowds where people are so, their energy so just, they may call them peaceful protests, but within those peaceful people, there's a lot of angry people. And when I feel that, I would just rather not be a part of it. But that is me. Again, I'm here to assist you guys energetically through whatever it is that I can assist you guys with. So be careful next time when you guys are participating in a mass uh, ritual. A lot of you guys just don't know. Um, just question why it is that you're doing it. Do your research. That whole Blackout Tuesday started through the music industry, and it spread, and a lot of people didn't understand this. Well, it wasn't meant to silence you. It was meant to bring awareness, and that caused a whole lot of confusion. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, you guys. You guys have been awesome. Know that the world is getting better, even though it seems like it's getting worse. And also expect something new every month from here to the rest of the year to happen. All right, you guys, I will see you guys later.